Good morning, students. Welcome to session 4 of the career series presented by BITS Pilani Dubai campus. Today, we're going to focus on biotechnology engineering. A lot of you have registered with us, and a lot of you have been asking a lot of questions. And to answer those questions, we've set up a nice, amazing panel of various stakeholders in biotechnology. So we've got Dr. Trupti Gokhale, who's the associate professor of biotechnology at BITS Pilani Dubai campus, and then we've got alumni, somebody who's working in a company, somebody who started up, somebody who's doing masters, in further fields. And then we've got Miss Nahid, who's the senior manager admissions, and we've also got a current student who's studying biotechnology to give you her perspective on how it feels like to be the student with biotechnology. All right. So this whole panel discussion, again, we're going to segment it into 4 segments. The first segment is going to be about course structure. The second segment is going to be about how the student experience is on campus when you're studying biotechnology. Third segment, where a lot of you are asking a lot of questions, is about future options. What are your future options with biotechnology with your undergraduation, as your undergraduate course? And the fourth segment is about who's suited for biotechnology, if you're going to love, and what are the indicators to choose biotechnology. All right, so starting with segment 1, which is around the course structure in biotechnology engineering. And in this segment, we're going to talk about what are the courses that you're going to do, how the course looks like in BITS Pilani Dubai, why is it so unique, why is it different from all the other courses which you'd find in biotechnology, and why you should go for it. All right, so let's get our first panelist in, Dr. Trupti Gokhale. She is the Associate Professor of Biotechnology at BITS Pilani Dubai campus. Good morning, Dr. Trupti.
Good morning, Lohit.
So a lot of students have been asking this question. I think you're the best person to answer this. What is biotechnology and what the course structure is like for biotech?
Okay, so this is a question that comes in many minds, especially students who have taken biology and who have not taken biology, because biotech is basically an interdisciplinary field. So it makes room for everyone who has an inclination towards biology or would like to work in a field that has applications in biology. So this could be in the healthcare industry, like what we are seeing in the amid this COVID situation, wherein we are making use of diagnostic tests which are biotechnology oriented. We are making use of biomedical devices in the food industry. You will find that biotechnology is being used, wherein we are adding probiotics to make healthier foods. We are having foods which are now rich in omega-3 fatty acids. Plus, we have now baked variants which are coming, which is all a result of biotechnology. Yeah, if we look at the industry, which is chemical industry, over there also we have petroleum refining in which biotechnology is used, and also for mining of ores. For students who are interested in computers, we have bioinformatics, which is again an integration of biology and computer science. So if you look at any field, basically it will find room in biotechnology. So biotechnology accommodates all interests and is an extremely interdisciplinary field. Now, that does not mean that students who are interested in core biology would not find a room over here. So we do have courses, or we do have areas wherein there is core biology like microbiology, we have immunology, recombinant DNA technology, synthetic biology, cellular and molecular biology. So these are areas of core biology which are also emerging from biotechnology. We have a variant of courses that we offer, wherein we have courses which are foundation courses which are common to all engineering programs. So similarly, biotech program over here becomes unique because we are the only amongst the few, I'll say, institutes globally who offer an engineering degree in biotechnology. Okay, so here we have unique programs. Like the students of biotechnology have to take engineering programs, which would be like workshop practice, engineering graphics, computer programming.
So you mentioned about core courses and elective courses. What are these core courses and electives that you're taking for biotech? What are these core courses and elective courses which you have?
Yes, so our core courses include courses like biophysics, cell biology, genetics, recombinant DNA technology, immunology, and 50% of our courses, I'll say, are lab-based courses such as microbiology, genetic engineering techniques, instrumental methods of analysis, downstream processing, industrial microbiology. So there is a good hands-on experience in the laboratory that the students are given to, because biotechnology is a field which is mainly a research based field. So, apart from the core courses, the students are expected to take discipline electives, which would be minimum 5 electives from the discipline pool of electives. And these, again, over here, we have a plethora of courses which range from bioinformatics, pharmaceutical biotechnology, immunotechnology, biomolecular modeling, nanobiotechnology, drug design and delivery, food biotechnology, bioethics and biosafety, plant biotechnology, cell and tissue culture technology.
Amazing. What a wide variety of courses that you're offering. So students, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask your questions in the link which is given above, and it's also in the description below. All right, let's get our second panelist in, Arshi Agarwal. Arshi graduated with biotechnology from BITS Pilani Dubai campus, and she's actually worked with a lot of firms. So Arshi, can you tell us a little, what did you do after you graduated from BITS Pilani?
So after I graduated, I went to Boston, where I was there for
Okay.
about 7 years. So for 2 years, I was completing my master's at Northeastern. I studied pharmaceutical sciences, concentrated in drug delivery and design. Went on to work for 2 years in a corporate in the corporate world, in a startup. That was my first job. And after that, I worked for 3 years in an academic lab where we concentrated on vaccines, especially HIV and Zika. After that, I wanted to step out of the research field. I wanted to do something by myself. So I looked into the Nigerian market. I thought that there's a pharmaceutical market that I can tap into. And now I am running a pharmaceutical company over there.
Amazing, amazing. So, Archie, with a person with your kind of experience with so many different companies, what do you think? Which are the courses which you did, back in BITS Pilani that actually helped you through?
So some of the scientific courses that helped me, like, we should understand that biotechnology is a very vast field. It kind of gives you an insight to every specific track that you can take, like genetics, molecular biology, immunology. So I took all of these courses, which gave me the knowledge to hone the scientific skills that I needed in the lab. And that is what I used in order to get a job when even after I completed my master's, because it helped me explain how I designed an experiment, because that's what a company asks you when they're recruiting you. That what kind of design, what kind of experiment did you design? How did you conduct it? What did you do when it failed? So those are some of the courses that helped me.
Okay, all right. And Archie, so what kind of skills are companies looking for in the student when they actually recruit? So which kind of courses should you have done to get a job in, say, this kind of company? So can you give me a kind of match?
Well, if you want to work in a research field, just in a research area, having scientific skills, technical skills are very important. So maybe a lab course which you did in, which I know we had at BITS, so that helps. Any thesis that you did, those things actually help you when you're going into a research-based job, because at that time, that's all they want to know. That if they give you an experiment, whether you can conduct it or not.
Okay. All right. So that was Archie. All right, our next panelist is an entrepreneur who started his own company, and he did his graduation in biotechnology from BITS Pilani Dubai campus. The name is Sarthak. Hi, Sarthak. Sarthak started an amazing company named Rosa. So, Sarthak, in fact, since the segment is about course structure, I wanted to ask you which courses that you took during BITS Pilani Dubai, while you were doing your biotechnology course. Which courses did you take up which helped you later as you started up?
Hey, thank you for having me here. Introduction to molecular biology, genetics. I have the course numbers if you guys are interested. You can reach out to me later. Biochemical engineering were immensely useful in developing a solid base in the field. I was actually not great at a lot of core engineering subjects, but what that taught me was to actually just, even persevere further. 454 sequencing, which is taught in one of the courses by Dr. Trupti Gokhale, was the triggering factor for me. to get sucked into the world of molecular biology. I mean, just thinking about the structure of DNA is insanely interesting to me. And I still remember the class very vividly. Um, I actually have my ring, and that ring has DNA on it. That's how much I got sucked into
Wow.
this entire field. Yeah. So worked out well for me.
That's amazing. All right. So, Sarthak, starting a company is actually much more tricky, right? You need so much more skills apart from your technical skills. So, did you pick up other skills too during your time at BITS Pilani?
I did. I actually participated in a whole bunch of festivals. I think organization was something that just came second nature once you're a part of organizing a bunch of events. And that and the factor, I think, wherein practice school 1 and practice school 2,
Mm.
if you think about it, are fantastic experiences that are offered through BITS.
Very inspiring. All right, Sarthak. All right, next in panel we have Karthik. Karthik graduated from BITS Pilani with biotechnology, and then he did his off-campus thesis in the US, and then he did his job for a couple of years. Is that right, Karthik? Before you got your
Right.
admit from IIM Ahmedabad.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what happened.
All right. Okay. So, Karthik, so what kind of courses helped you to chart your path this way? Now, looking back, but which courses would you recollect, and what helped you?
So, I think some of the courses that were there, even in biotech, was crucial to my understanding, at least in my job. One of them was the drug design analysis courses I did in my fourth year. But it's more on the analytical side. There was this instrumental methods of analysis, and there were a few other courses such as recombinant DNA technology, understanding downstream processing. Certain courses mirror both somewhat similarly in biotech and in pharma. So those were the ones that really helped me, like build a base so that when I went to my job, it was much easier for me to transmit and understand. And I didn't really have a problem with it because my technical was a little sound after that. And building on that, of course, is that BITS also gives you different courses, in economics and finance, and management, and you have those. So I did a few of those courses as well. Because without doing that, it would have been much more difficult for me to do what I do right now in my job, which is
Right.
doing, your financial part, the business strategies, etc.
Right. All right. So you heard the professor, you heard the alumni talk about the course structure. Let's bring in Safia, who's the student at BITS Pilani currently. Safia, so which has been your favorite course in biotech?
And that's a tricky one. I think the best part about biotech is that it is an amalgam of many different fields. Many have this notion that it's purely rote learning, like how bio was in school, but that's far from it. There are subjects that are purely theoretical, but there are also those which involve programming and require more logical approaches. For me personally, I love the lab courses and subjects like nanobiotech and genetic engineering, which gives you a real exposure to the engineering side of the discipline. And when it comes to challenging, well, all I can say is that what doesn't interest an individual will be challenging. But the professors really give it their all in trying to make the courses interesting. So none of the subjects are hard per se.
What an amazing panel. So, students, if you have any questions related to course structure or anything that's coming further, the link to ask questions is given in the description, and it will also be flashed on the screen above this particular frame. All right, so now you got to know about the program structure, how the courses are, what are the courses that you're going to study. Let's go on to our next segment, which is student experience while you are actually studying biotechnology at BITS Pilani Dubai campus. All right. So to answer the questions around student experience, let's get the first panelist in, Dr. Trupti Gokhale. She is the Associate Professor of Biotechnology at BITS Pilani Dubai campus. All right, Dr. Gokhale. So can you tell me the infrastructure and the facilities which are available at BITS Pilani Dubai, which would let students experiment with biotechnology?
Yes, Lord. Uh, as I mentioned earlier, biotechnology is mainly a research-based field, and therefore we give a lot of emphasis on our laboratory infrastructure over here. So we have a state-of-art laboratories and a total of 7 laboratories that we house under biotechnology department, in which we have the biology lab, which is generally used by the first year students Then we have the microbiology lab, genetic engineering lab. We have a lab for advanced molecular biology. We have a lab that houses all the analytical instruments, that's called as the Instrumental Methods of Analysis Laboratory. We have a lab for industrial microbiology and downstream processing. And we have a separate lab, which we call as the research lab, for the students who are doing their projects under the guidance of different faculty, as well as for students who are doing their thesis. Apart from this, we have a creative lab, which is again, it's a common facility for all the students of BITS Pilani, and this lab is for those students who want to do something out of the box. Since we have biotechnology as more inclined towards research, we have a good number of analytical instruments that we house in our laboratories, and these include PCR and RT-PCR. We also have various spectrophotometers like the infrared, fluorescent spectrophotometer, UV visible spectrophotometers. These are some of the high-end equipments in our laboratory. We also have inductively coupled plasma. This is an instrument which can generate plasma, goes up to a temperature of around 8,000 degrees, and can be used for ionizing any of the metals in the periodic table. So this is basically used for estimating metals, and you can estimate it right up to the ppb, that is part per billion level. Yeah, so it's a very sensitive instrument that we have. And I can tell you, in the entire of UAE, there are only 4 such instruments, one of which is in BITS Pilani. Then we have chromatography techniques like HPLC and GC. For those students who are interested in nanoparticles, we have the particle size analyzer. We have fermenters, we have lyophilizers, plant growth chambers for those who are plant lovers. So we have facilities, and of course there are many more, and all these facilities are for the students, and these are part of their curriculum, so that when they move for their projects, they can handle these equipments on their own.
This is
Yes.
amazing. So many facilities. Now I have a question from one of these students. Let me just go there. Okay, Shivam Kabra from Mumbai is asking, I wanted to ask if programming is used in biotechnology. Right.
Yeah, programming is used in biotechnology. As I mentioned, we have bioinformatics, which is a part which could be an offshoot. Plus, programming is used wherein if we are working, like for example, in the field of recombinant DNA technology, then there are students who are programming and finding out the DNA sequences where we can cut the DNA specifically.
I think this is going to be an amazingly useful information for the students who are graduating from grade 12 right now. All right, so you just heard Dr. Gokhale talk about all the infrastructure and facilities. So let's get Safia in. Safia is the current student of biotechnology at BITS Pilani Dubai. So Safia, which clubs and departments have you been a part of on campus?
Well, like we all know, that college isn't just about excelling in academics, it's about making contacts and discovering your passions as well. Now, biotech is a very demanding discipline because every week you spend 12 hours in the lab, and then on top of that, you have research projects, conferences, etc. So it can be really challenging to have a balanced life, but it's absolutely possible. In my years at BITS, I've directed musicals, learned how to play the violin, participated and organized events in almost, I think, all the clubs: music, art, drama, environmental expressions, and of course, the Biotech Department Club, Chimera, which hosts some of the most fun events in our college.
Very well said, very well said. So perfect time to try out a lot of stuff. That's great, that's great. Very well answered, Safia. All right, let's get Karthik in. Karthik finished his biotechnology with a gold medal. So that's another story, Karthik. So how was your experience like? Was it what kind of papers you wrote? What kind of courses you did? What was the experience like?
So I had a varied amount of different courses that really helped me in my research as well. I have a paper on nanoparticles that was published on the American Society of Microbiology journal in, I think, 2016. So this courses that really helped me even, write papers or probably even go for my off-campus thesis, such as, recombinant DNA technology. There was the analytical side, which is the instrumental methods of analysis. You have your downstream processing. Those are the things, those are the different heavy technical courses that really helped make my research much better. And it was overall a well-rounded experience that I got from the courses that helped me kind of succeed also, yeah, in the research and publications, and the fact that I got selected to go to Colorado State University as well.
All right. Was there any position of responsibility, any club department or any particular thing that you led back then?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was a part of the Biotech Association that was developed and built for people like us. We got in a lot of people to talk, a lot of noted personalities all over the world. We even kept a few, engaging methodologies, games. We even spoke about research papers. So that was one of the things. I was vice president and a GenSec into back-to-back years. A lot of positions or responsibilities that I actually went through in college.
Karthik, I think I've heard now every kind of keyword there can be. That's great. Thanks, Karthik. I'm sure this was very inspiring for all the Grade 12 students who are watching us right now. Guys, if you're looking to take biotechnology, this is one way to go, where you can have a mix of technical and management-oriented, courses on campus, plus have so many positional responsibilities, which actually creates a great story for you. All right, so now next up is Arshi. Let's ask her how her life experience was when she was back on campus. All right, guys, a lot of you are joining in. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask on this link which is being shown, and the same link is on the description also. So Arshi, here's my question. So where did most of your time on campus go?
Well, I participated in a lot of art competitions, a lot of dance competitions, which we had. There were a lot of creative based competitions, I guess, that were happening on campus. So we were always busy with a lot of things. And other than that, I guess was my thesis, which I did in the last year. So that took up most of my time. So that took a lot of effort, and with a lot of help from Dr. Trupti Gokhale and Dr. Neeru Sood helped me out a lot. They told me where to go, who to meet, who to talk to. And that kind of help was really needed by the professors over there. So that really helped. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Ashi. All right, so let's hear about the experience on somebody who started up his own company. Sarthak is here. Sarthak started up Jeevan Sciences, right? Sarthak?
Yes. So
right.
Jeevan, basically, it's like life, right? Jeevan.
Yeah. Right. All right. So Sarthak, how was your Ps1 and Ps2 experience? And how did you pick up these skills required to start up your own company?
Well, thank you, Lohit, for asking me. I briefly mentioned Ps1 and Ps2 in terms of what was unique about the coursework at BITS, but let me just go further a little bit in detail. What is interesting is, and why I thought that this question was very pertinent, is because neither Ps1 nor my Ps2 experiences were directly in the field of biology or life sciences. But both of my experiences were fantastic. I worked with a company called Serco during Ps1. Serco was the primary contract recipient for the construction of Dubai Airport Terminal 3 and the metro. Ps2 actually was an amazing experience for me too, because I was with an oil rigging company called Aban Offshore, where I quickly realized that one of the problems that they had was that they overordered spares, and it showed up as a huge cost component on a balance sheet. I was lucky enough to be working with the rig manager directly to actually have these balance sheets in hand. I got to visit an oil rig, and that experience in itself was fantastic. So, and by the way, I was paid for this whole thing, so that never hurts.
Right. So that's an amazing experience. All this in an internship. So amazing. You get an exposure. You get to apply your skills. You get to innovate. Plus, you get paid. So what else is needed? That's great, Sarthak. That's great. The student experience seems amazing. You heard the professor, you heard the alumni. Now let's get Miss Nahid Afshan, who's the senior manager, admissions at BITS Pilani Dubai campus. Miss Afshan, a lot of students are writing to us asking about the change in curriculum or how you're coping up with the pandemic, the COVID crisis that has come up. So what are these steps BPDC is going to take, or has already taken, in fact, to counter the crisis?
Well, with the onset of this pandemic in early March, BITS Pilani Dubai shifted to the online mode of teaching. As the university had already invested in several superior online platforms, the shift to online teaching was effortless and quick. The students did not miss a single day of class and resumed their studies from the comfort of their homes and some from the hostel rooms on the campus. So the lectures were delivered through online platforms such as Imparters and WebEx. Practical classes were held, that's the labs, were conducted through virtual and remote labs. I would also like to add that while many universities are yet to conduct their examinations, BITS Pilani Dubai has conducted all the semester assessments as well as the comprehensive exam through various assessment platforms such as Socrates, Code Tantra, very, very efficiently, maintaining the sanctity in conduct of the examinations intact. So we also had the remote access which was provided to the students to the e-library portal. So the students had access to several titles remotely. And now coming to the second part of your question, as far as the current situation and plans for the forthcoming academic year are concerned, we are very pleased to inform that Dubai has successfully contained the spread of the virus with very efficient and quick response to the outbreak. In fact, life has got back to normal and we have resumed all the operations, and we are optimistic about flattening the curve very soon. I would say that Dubai is one of the safest study destination in the world today, besides being a very cosmopolitan city with liberal views. And students from India and other countries would find this also very close to their homes and with easy flight access. We are commencing classes on the campus from 1st September, hopefully, maintaining all the safety and precautionary rules that will reduce the risk of the contagion drastically. And if students are admitted from other countries, that's India and other countries, in case they face any kind of travel restrictions due to the situation in their country, we may look at some blended learning pattern initially, but will not delay the commencement of the semester.
That's great. All right, so you saw the course structure for biotechnology, and you also saw how the live experience is going to be for you when you're on campus. Now coming to the major segment where most of you are asking the questions, which is about what are the future options like. So if you've taken biotechnology for your graduation, what is your future going to look like? So this is our segment 3, future options in biotechnology. Bringing in Arshi Agrawal as our first panelist who did a master's and then took up a job, and then finally she's the director of Novagen Pharmaceuticals. Bringing in Arshi now. Arshi, so here's my question. Everybody wants to know this. I can see a lot of people are asking this question. What is the pay package like? So how hot is the sector, and what is the starting salary with biotech?
Well, the sector is pretty hot and there's a lot of competition. So once you graduate, your first job could get your salary from about $60,000 a year.
That's very good.
That is pretty good. I have heard of people getting more, but it all depends on the kind of interview you have, the kind of experience that you've already gained from before.
Right. What kind of roles do they get offered?
So the first one would be a very generic research associate, and or a research assistant, you can say. That those jobs, when they're, if you see anywhere online, they always list kind of a basic set of like the scientific technical skills that you should have.
Right.
Because they know that you're just graduating, they know you don't have much experience, but they're expecting you to at least know those technical skills so that they can actually help you in helping them. So
and then what happens? What's the career path like? Where do you grow from there?
After that, in some companies it's like a senior research associate, in some it's directly scientist or an associate scientist.
All right, so that's good insight. So if you're planning to work in a company, you get a research kind of role, and the starting salary is around $50,000 in the US. And of course, then you need to upgrade your skills. You need to go for masters, do your PhD, and then you go become a scientist. That's amazing, Archie. All right, guys, if you have any questions related to jobs, or if you have any questions related to how do you set up your own pharmaceutical company, which is really a big deal, shoot it out. And if we can't take that question now, we'll definitely respond to you with email. All right, thank you, Archie. Very inspiring. Okay, so now let's get Karthik as a panelist here. Karthik is actually now not taking up a further degree in biotechnology, but he's going for an MBA. is gotten selected for Ahmedabad. So in fact, a lot of you are asking questions around higher degree. So MBA is another brilliant option for you to take after your graduation, in biotechnology. So Karthik, here's my question to you. How many students actually choose this option of going for an MBA after graduation in biotechnology?
Actually, from my institute, I think there were three of us who did this, who went for the MBA route over the master's route. It is a slightly unconventional thing to do, yes, but for people who feel that, this much I've done, this technical background, what I have is enough, and if I want to try my hand in going up higher in corporates, etc., I would really go for the MBA route over the master's route because I still think the technical background can be sorted in 4 years, or if you keep continuing your own studies in that regard. For me, I felt MBA is more important because I needed that well-rounded experience on the other side, which I've never studied before.
Right.
So those are things
Absolutely.
that made me choose the opposite route than the normal
Right.
masters.
Okay. All right. Okay, Karthik, a lot of students are joining in, and guys, if you want to ask more questions related to how to prepare for MBA, you can shoot those questions here. The link is given above, and it's also in the description. All right, Karthik, thank you. All right, a lot of students joining in, and a lot of you have been asking questions around placements. Please feel free to ask more questions if you want. The link is right up there and in the description below. Also, let's bring in Sarthak now, who started up his own company, which is actually a path that a lot of you are choosing now. So, Sarthak, would you like to give some suggestions on? In fact, I'd like to ask you firstly, how popular is entrepreneurship as an option after graduation, or even after, like in your case, you did your master's and then PhD, and then you, in fact, decided to start up. So, how lucrative and how popular is the option?
Lucrative. Okay. My bank balance would actually disagree with any aspect of this being a lucrative option. And guess what? The romance actually wears off really quickly, but it's amazingly satisfying. Once I'm actually done here, I'm probably gonna go for a 30-kilometer bike ride in the middle of the day. That's what I choose to do, and I will do that. Um, but yeah, well, after graduation, I think I have more than a few cases of my friends, actually batchmates, who've gone on to start their own successful companies. There's clean energy companies, Clenergize, which is based out of Dubai. Then one of my friends, Siddharth Gupta, actually went to Bangalore and started Greedy Games, which is again a really amazing company. They've raised a fair amount of money.
All right, Sarthak. So, also, as you mentioned, entrepreneurship is actually a long journey. People take a lot of risk, and that's the difference between taking a job and the starting up. Obviously, then you hope for great returns after you've invested your time in it. So, how's your experience been like? How long does it take, to create a product in biotech, and how are people doing in general?
Yeah, I actually think that the fundamental difference between biotech and technology is the capital intensiveness that is required for
Right.
biotechnology.
Yeah.
But as you rightfully pointed out, that biotech is actually very product dependent. And even if it's service dependent, the investments that you end up making in setting up a laboratory, for example, are much higher than if you decide to buy, 10 computers. So for me, one of the greatest limiting factors and why it took me almost 2 years to set my company in the right course was that capital intensiveness. My idea is a moonshot, and to actually achieve a moonshot, you need a fair amount of money.
Right. Right. In fact, what you said is very true. The kind of investment in the equipment would be, and even the software is going to be extremely expensive. I think that's where the university plays a big role, because the university actually has, these facilities, and students can actually use this not just to study but also to create a product. So great, great. Thank you, Sarthak, for your answer. A lot of you are joining in, and a lot of you have been asking questions around placements. In fact, I can see a lot of students. Let me just read it out here. I can see Satish uh, Gupta. I can see Kamlesh Gupta, Puneet Jain, Karishma, Arunima, Siddharth. Dipendra. In fact, I can see so many students asking questions around placements. So let's get our next panelist in, Ms. Nahid Afshan. Ms. Afshan, a lot of students want to know what are the future prospects like? Which are the companies which are coming on campus? In fact, I saw one question which asked, do you have campus placements? So I know this is BITS Pilani brand, of course, there's campus placements, but can you give us some specifics? Which are the companies which are coming in for placements?
As Dr. Trupti explained in the beginning, that the bachelor's degree in biotechnology is a very comprehensive program covering a wide array of courses and its applications. Hence, it becomes imperative for the students to specialize in a particular area of their interest. Hence, more than 60% of our students move out for higher studies, that is master's and doctoral programs in the area of their interest. Some popular specializations our engineers have opted for are biomedical engineering, immunology, genetics, forensic sciences, biopharmaceuticals, biosciences, and so on. And some popular study destinations for our graduates are Harvard Medical School, MIT Boston, Johns Hopkins, UPenn, and others in USA. Plus, they also go this side to NUS Singapore. They have gone to Bonn University, Germany, and some universities in Sweden and UK too. Having said this, it does not mean that biotech engineers are not job ready. Our graduates are also gainfully employed in leading companies globally. Various sectors that have recruited our graduates are some are food industries such as Nestle and IFCO, pharma companies such as GlaxoSmithKline, Lupin Pharmaceuticals, we have Himalaya Herbals, and healthcare and diagnostic groups such as Medcare Hospital, Dubai. We have Abbott, Lifecell International Private Limited, UAE. We also have a company from USA, Ceres Nanoscience, which has recruited our student. And last but not the least, Thermo Fisher and Integrated Gulf Biosystems, which deal with biomedical instruments. So all these and more have recruited our graduates too.
All right, students. So now that you've seen the future options available with biotechnology, let's get Dr. Trupti Gokhale in. She is the associate professor, and she has seen many students graduate with biotechnology. So, Dr. Gokhale, I wanted to ask you, there's so many students who must be doing such wonderful things right now. It must feel really proud to created and shape the future of so many students. So, can you share a couple of stories with us on what some of the students of yours are doing?
Sure, Lohit. As I earlier mentioned, it's a research-based field. So we have our students on campus being involved in a good amount of research. And this has helped the biotech students to excel and reach greater heights. This can be in the field of research, academics, and as well as in the industry. So just to quote a few, some of our students worked on various projects and got the Expo Life grant under the University Innovation Grant, which was opened by Expo 2020 in association with Dubai government. Apart from this, we have a good number of students who have excelled as entrepreneurs. It's not so easy to have own setup, own startup in the field of biotechnology. Yeah, and we have Sarthak over here and Arshi, who both are with their own startups and both in the field of biotechnology. So that, of course, makes it us as teachers very proud of them.
This is amazing, right? Even listening to these stories got me so excited. It's so amazing to have a kind of environment that you've created where students learn and innovate right there. The opportunities seem really great for biotechnology, but given the pandemic situation, actually, it might actually open up many doors for people in biotech. So let's get Safia. Safia, nice. So you're going to John Hopkins now. How are you feeling?
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Excited.
Congratulations, by the way. How did that happen? So how did John Hopkins happen? What did Institute do? What did you do? How did it all come together?
Well, firstly, of course, you have to decide which what you want to get into. I mean, so I always wanted to do biotech from a young age. So you first shortlist which colleges you want to go, and then you, based on your GPA and financial status, you shortlist them, and then For the US colleges, of course, GRE is important, so that I focused on. I got a good score. So yeah, and you just need recommendation letters, and the teachers will help you with everything. So yeah.
All right. So Safia, what do you think played an important role in getting through John Hopkins?
I think what colleges look for is your potential. So when it comes to BITS, I mean, the resources that are available for biotech played a huge role. And plus the faculty, they know they've sent many students to really reputed colleges. So they have a certain pathway of which you need to follow, like the kind of projects you need to do, etc. And plus,
Right.
yeah, colleges have like a minimum GPA and a GRE score. So once you clear that, it's kind of easier to get into.
Right. Right. All right. So, students, if you have any questions around how to get into amazing colleges for your masters, there's this link given above, and it's also in the description. Feel free to click on it and ask your questions from the panelists. Safia is here with us. She's just graduating from BITS Dubai in biotechnology, and she's just made it through John Hopkins. All right, Safia, thank you for your answer. Great. What an amazing discussion. So, you've got to know about the course structure till now. You know how the student life is like and what are the future options like. It all sounds very amazing for biotechnology, but now the question remains, who's best suited for biotechnology? Are you going to love biotechnology? So here is our next segment, segment 4, where we talk about who's best suited for biotechnology. And to start with this segment, let's get in Ms. Nahid Afshan, who's the Senior Manager Admissions at BITS Pilani Dubai. Ms. Afshan, I'm getting a lot of questions from students around what is the admission procedure like, what are the scholarships available. So can you detail that for us?
Yes, Lohit. As you have heard, we are among the very few universities who offer an engineering degree in biotechnology. While students with physics, chemistry, and maths are eligible for admission to any engineering program, including biotechnology, this program, biotechnology, what we offer here, also permits students with physics, chemistry, and biology in high school to get admitted. So this is a very popular among students who have studied physics, chemistry, biology at high school, but are not keen on pursuing a career, a medical career. So, but are still interested in the healthcare and allied sectors. So this is a wonderful option for such students with physics, chemistry, and biology, because we do admit them for this engineering program, BE Biotechnology. The admission is purely based on your merit in grade 12 and availability of seats. All recognized school boards with a minimum of, all recognized school boards are accepted, be it CBSE, ICSE, or various state boards of India, or international boards such as IB, the UK board. All these are accepted. And the minimum mark requirement for you to apply to the BE Biotechnology program would be a minimum of 60% overall aggregate and 60% in physics, chemistry, and maths, or 60% in physics, chemistry, and biology aggregate. So that's the minimum requirement for you all to apply. The applications are currently open. Here I would like to add that we do not have any admission test for admission to BITS Pilani Dubai. So your admissions are only based on your grade 12 marks. And applications are open right now, as I mentioned. They're all online applications, and you can apply anytime now. And the last date for you would be 31st July 2020. And I think your second part of the question, Lohit, was about scholarships. We have several merit-based scholarships at the entry level. We offer scholarships based on grade 12. We offer scholarships based on your BITSAT score, based on your PBISE rank. As I mentioned to you, BITSAT is not compulsory for admission, but if you have done a BITSAT and if you have a score starting from 200 onwards, you will be eligible for a scholarship ranging from 25% to 75%. Even the PBISE rank holders, top 1,000, would be eligible for a scholarship ranging from 25% to 75%. It's based on grade 12 marks, range from 15% to 40%, which you can avail if you have an aggregate of 80% or above in the 12th grade examination.
That's amazing. All right. So students, if you're interested, in fact, to apply to BITS Pilani Dubai campus, you can put your details in the link which is being flashed right above. And also it is there in the description. Just click on that link, fill in your details, and we'll send you the admission bulletin and the scholarship details which are available for you. All right, Mr. Afshan, thank you for the answer. All right, next panelist is Karthik. Karthik, come in. All right, Karthik. So, how did you decide that So you were from India, and you told me that you did your schooling in Chennai. So, how did you choose BITS Pilani Dubai campus and biotechnology? Why do you choose that, and what will be your suggestion to the current grade 12 students? How should they
So,
decide whether they should go for biotech?
to be honest, I did not really make such like a very technical analyzed decision, of course.
Yeah.
I loved biotech when I was in 11th and 12th. I had the same course in my school. So we had a discipline as biotech, which is weird, yeah, I know, but most schools don't give it, but my school did, so I took it. And I kind of loved it. So I loved what I learned. I really, really enjoyed what I was taught in my school as well. That kind of brought me my passion to actually do biotech in my undergrad. So that was the only line of thinking I had. Yes, of course, BITS Pilani Dubai does give you a good scope in biotech. We have great facilities, at least in the terms of the labs. The course is designed very well. When I was there was a lot of faculty interaction with other campuses as well. So there was a BITS Pilani Goa campus, there was instruction that was there. When we had faculty from Pilani campus come in a 1.5 to 2 years exchange. So when I studied, I had great, amazing faculty from also, different campuses in India.
Okay.
And there were also
Okay.
a lot of visiting people who used to come. So my learning was tremendous.
Right. So if you're interested in the field, this field is actually going to open a lot of avenues for you. You can either go for a master's in biotech itself, or you can go and change your route and go this way where you can do your MBA. All right. Thanks, Karthik. All right. So to figure out more about whether you're going to love biotech or not, let's bring in Arshi. Arshi, so here's my question to you. Did you love biology when you were in grade 11, 12?
I did. I had decided to go do something in biology about in grade 10 only.
Okay. Backstage, you told me, though I should not be using this, that you didn't really score very high
I did.
in biology. So, so it can happen so that you love a subject, but there might be reasons why you didn't score. But if you love biology, then there's an indicator that you might love biotech too. What about chemistry? Should you love chemistry to love biotech?
You should, but it's not about just loving it. Like, if you understand it, it's okay. Uh, because chemistry is a completely different course as well, but that does fall under biotechnology. You do learn about biochemistry, which is a course in BITS. So having a love for biotech and chemistry both might help you.
Okay.
Well,
What should the students in grade 12 look at if they are going to choose biotech?
Well, if they're going to choose biotech, they should definitely be prepared to learn about everything which encompasses us, about our immune system, our biology, every specific thing. So their curiosity to learn about all of these different subjects of what makes us human itself,
Okay.
in biology terms, that will definitely, if you know you want to do that, then you know that you want to go into biotech.
So there you have it, guys. If these are the words that excite your immune system about biology and things inside us, then biotech is for you. Okay. Thank you for that answer. All right, now let's bring in Sarthak. Sarthak is an entrepreneur. He started his own company. All right, Sarthak. So, what I want to ask you is that entrepreneurs make their own path. They chart their own path. They do their own research. They create their own product. So, my question to you is, what kind of suggestion would you want to give to those who are aspiring to start up after taking this particular discipline, and how should they choose this particular course? What kind of things they should do while they're on campus at BITS Pilani?
So, well, let me answer this, maybe a little more local to the Dubai campus where I'm from. The Dubai campus is unique in its nature that it's one of the best Indian schools in a completely international setting. Having spent my time here actually made me aware of the advantages of diversity that people bring from different backgrounds that they bring to the table. It doesn't hurt that Dubai in itself is an international destination. I learned to equate people to their humanness, picked up on the fact that most of the biases that we have are internal and we impose those on people. And this normalization has helped me greatly in starting my own company, in connecting with people. And I probably wouldn't do this any other way. When you're at BITS, what you can do is you can try to get involved in as many events. And one of the solutions that I have is there's a fair amount of opportunity for online commerce and ideas that you can use to get your toes wet and get some experience. So start off early. The faster you fail, the better it is to your path to success.
All right, so start up early, and the sooner you save. All right, that's a great advice. All right, Sarthak, thanks. Okay, so getting Dr. Trupti in now for closing this particular segment. All right, Dr. Trupti, can you share 4 or 5 suggestions with which a student can excel in biotech course on campus?
Okay. Thank you, Lohit, for this, because many students, when they join in, they want to know what should they do to get or excel in biotech. Yeah, the answer is really very simple. One, the students need to have patience and persistence. It's a research-based field, and therefore they have to be patient. Results don't come overnight. Persistence, because in case the result does not come, in case an experiment fails, they have to keep trying. So patience and persistence in biotechnology is at the topmost. The students need to know how and when to prioritize their work, right? So priority comes in the next level, wherein they have to understand, if they have 10 things in hand, which one to be prioritized. And this will come only when they decide on their third point, that is time management. So at BITS Pilani, as through this panel, we have understood that it is not only curriculum, but there's a lot of extracurricular activities that also happen on campus. And apart from this, I will say networking and discussion amongst the like-minded is also important. Unless we discuss our ideas, we will not understand the flaws in those ideas. So if you want to overcome, if you want to excel, discussion is a part. You have to take criticism very positively. So I don't think these points would be all biotech related. These are general points to excel in any field.
True.
And these are just few suggestions that I would like to tell the students.
Well, very well said, Dr. Gokhale. All right. What an amazing panel. You guys asked a lot of questions, and I hope we were able to answer your questions. If you have more questions, feel free to ask. The link to ask questions is given on the description. Also, if you're interested to know about the admission procedure and the scholarships available, please put your details in the particular form, which is again, the link is given in the description itself. I thank all the panelists that they took out time. It was amazing interacting with you guys, and I hope grade 12 students are now more informed about how they can choose biotech. Should they go for biotech? Should they not go for biotech? So this was session 4. We've already completed computer science. We've completed mechanical, EEE and EC, and now this one was biotech. We'll be doing the sessions on chemical and civil engineering also. So if you're interested, stay tuned. We'll send you the registration form, and you can again put your questions in there. All right. Thank you for your time, grade 12 students, and thank you for your time, panelists. All right. See you next time.